Good afternoon and welcome to another edition of the Mayor Hull Show. On our show, we like to highlight different things going on around Rio Rancho and interview different people that play an important role in the things that we see happening here in Rio Rancho. And so today we're fortunate to have Debbie with the Chamber of Commerce with us today. Debbie Moore is the president of the Chamber of Commerce here in Rio Rancho and is integral in helping businesses get started, helping them understand the different resources that are around the city, and also very integral in creating a strong network and keeping the communication lines open. So welcome, Debbie. Appreciate you joining us today on the show.
Thank you, Mayor.
So we'll get started straight off the bat. Tell us a little bit about the Chamber. Let's start there, because sometimes people come to town and they look for the Chamber. They're looking for information. Maybe they want to start a business. Tell us, some of the roles that the Chamber plays in that particular facet.
Well, the most important thing is to find us. We're at the corner of Pat D'Arco Highway 528 and Southern in the New Mexico Bank and Trust building. That's the first place you can look for the signage. We actually have a visitor center too. The Chamber of Commerce, we're celebrating our 35th anniversary this year.
Excellent.
And so we're really excited. We've been in the community for 35 years. 1 year older, actually, than the incorporation of the city of Rio Rancho.
Nice.
So we have been providing service for helping businesses and increasing the commerce in our community for 35 years, and that's a powerful legacy for us to continue.
Well, I know the Chamber gets involved in, like say, very, very business oriented, not just business, but very community oriented. So on top of that, what are some of the unique and beneficial programs, opportunities that the Chamber has available for the citizens, or perhaps even the businesses?
Well, I think our first unique ability that we do at the Chamber is we actually have SBDC, Small Business Development Center, and West as renters in our location. So we're a one-stop shop.
Great.
Particularly for those businesses that are just beginning, or they've hit that little bump in the road where they need an extra start and jump and need to know what to do. They can come to the Chamber. But the Chamber offers all kinds of programs, seminars. In fact, we have an upcoming seminar at the end of March on marketing your business. Our business after hours. I know you've been to a couple of our networking events. Networking events are huge. Most of them are no fee, open to every business, every citizen in the community to network and get to know what other businesses are in town. And there are various businesses around the community. So that gives the host business opportunity to showcase their business. And then we have a Grow Your Business and discussion over coffee twice a month. And then I think our one thing you and I have in common is our love for the young people and our visionaries,
Absolutely.
which is young execs.
Well, I'm going to touch base on a few of those things. Debbie just mentioned quite a few activities and programs that the Chamber has going on, and one that is very unique that I enjoy is the Visionaries, and this is a group of young executives here in Rio Rancho that are very interested in the success of Rio Rancho as a community, the success of their business in the community, and they're very interested in the success of their families, obviously, and the future of their families. And so when young executives come together and they're focused on real community items and coming together as a network as opposed to individualism and saying, well, I'm just here to make what I can and get out, or prepare for my future, but actually getting together and planning for the long-term future of the city. I think it's really important that we recognize that. So tell us a little bit more about the Visionaries Group. Now, I know I have met with them before, and they're ambitious, they're go-getters.
Energetic.
Yes, they remind me of myself, 20 years ago, and so. But tell us a little more about that, and also how young executives can get involved in this, because I meet young executives and young business owners constantly,
Right.
and I say, hey, you need to get involved in this group over here. I wish that I'd had a group like this when I was starting my business back when I was 30. That would have been great to have something like this. So tell us about that. I'm sorry.
So the age technically is 21 to 40.
Okay.
I will tell you we have quite a few that sneak over the 40 that like to come because of the energy.
Well, from time
and
to time
because-
I can sneak
exactly,
in,
because of the excitement. And we're actually looking at how we can blend the under 21 age, like the high school seniors and the college freshmen within our community, how we could get them involved as well.
Now, when you're meeting, I know one time when I know that you've brought in various speakers. I've gotten to come. You've had me in to speak on a couple of on one occasion, and I know that you have other speakers that come in that talk about that really are taking that opportunity to kind of mentor and lead these young people from their own experience. So tell us what type of information, what type of people you're introducing to the visionaries.
Well, you hit the nail on the head, Mayor, mentorship. So when we started the Visionaries about, I guess almost 5 years ago now, part of my goal in blending with our Leadership Sandoval County Community Leadership Program, I wanted to have a mentorship program which guided them in how to be not only successful business people, but successful businesses members of our community. And that is a key. Most of our visionaries have families, they're invested in our community, and so we bring in CEOs, we bring in all kinds of people, but the key is I tell the guest, it's not about your business right now. It's about what you can give to them as tips for the future. And just this morning we had James Maxson, who is Sandoval County Fire Chief, did a wonderful job. And he's right at the 40-ish age. He'll kill me for saying that on the TV. But he really kind of like, this is where you can go. And he really empowered them. That's the key, mentoring, empowering, and leading, because we want them to become involved in the commissions, become involved in board of directors around our community. And several years ago, the Chamber of Commerce, I really challenged my members to walk the talk. And we have a board of 23, and of that 23, about 8 of them are under 40. Oh. And on your commissions, you have some visionaries on your commissions Absolutely. Right now involved in the community. It takes time because they have kids and they have to dedicate the time. So it takes me a while to persuade them or to influence them of that key. But they're our future. That's what Absolutely. It's all about. If we don't have them involved now, when we all start retiring, there's not going to be a backup plan.
Right, absolutely. And along that line, when you talk about the visionaries, I know that you play a very heavy emphasis not only on the mentorship and the people who are speaking to them and guiding them, but you also guide them down a very specific community participation path as well. Mm-hmm. How to get involved in the community on a charitable level, yes. on a participation, on a volunteer level. So there's so many different ways that tell us a little bit about that, because the mentorship is great, but then once they get that membership, how are you teaching them to give back to the community?
So it's a whole package. And that's the main thing from the very beginning we've stressed with them. It's the whole package. So every quarter they have a community project where they benefit a nonprofit within the area. And so they now have their own leadership team. I'm just there to kind of supervise and guide them, and they plan their events, they raise their money, they give to their charities, and they go through all the things that they need to learn to do. And just this time they've got a little bit of guidance with me, but eventually I won't be there. But it's the full package. They're involved in the schools. I encourage them, if they've got children in the schools, to be active within their school PTA or PTOs yes. or their fundraising. But that is part of being a good citizen. Absolutely. It's the community involvement. It's the we're going to talk a little bit about shopping local later on. Absolutely. And they're definitely referral. If you want to get some business, go to the Visionaries, because they refer everybody like crazy.
They are an energetic group, and I enjoy being around them because you kind of absorb some of that energy.
Well, thank you, Mayor, because we've got a series of 3 or 4 actually visionary town halls, because yes. You and I have talked early when you were first elected about where we want to go, say 2040 or 2050, which is it's when they're going to be in the heart of their career.
Correct.
And so they play a real pivotal role, and they come up with some interesting things.
Yes.
And but it's the ideas and get them thinking. That's part of again the total package. They have to be strategic. They have to be thinkers and to guide their energy. But at the same time, I'm also teaching them that they need to mentor the generation behind them, and that's where we're starting looked at the high school and mid school.
Absolutely. And that's great. So if you are a young executive or a young business owner, and you're looking for a great network to get involved in, I would encourage you to contact the Chamber about getting involved in the Visionaries group, because there's a lot of ideas, a lot of networking, a lot of great information that's passed around there. And not to mention, you just get to be involved with your contemporaries and those people that are struggling with some of the same struggles that you are at this time. So I really encourage you to contact the chamber. And we're going to go back to the business aspect here for just a minute. And you touched on the Shop Local, Buy Rio Rancho stuff. But before we get to that, I do want to talk about some of the other things that you're doing with businesses in Rio Rancho to help them network and help identify those businesses, what they offer and who they are. And that's there's a couple of events that you host, the Chamber Night Out and the After Hours events. And now these are very unique events that I really enjoy. The After Hours is where business owners meet at a business in Rio Rancho, and they just meet and mingle and get to know each other and get to introduce. So tell us about the business After Hours and the Chamber Night Out, and how you're using those to introduce one business to another and create that networking dynamic in Rio Rancho, and what kind of success you're having with that.
Well, all of them are having their unique success. Chamber Night Out is a brand new program. And I would be amiss if I didn't also mention our area business councils that we launched last year.
Okay.
But the business after hours is chamber tradition for many chambers in my 30 years. Everyone does an event. And I think the key to that is you go to every one of them, and then there's new people there, but then someone may say, oh, I referred you to someone else, and there's tons of referrals that come out of that. And Rio Rancho is a referral city.
Yes.
We have a lot of challenges with media and getting our word out. So it is definitely a referral city. So that's the advantage of the business after hours. And plus, as I said, the host business can really showcase what they do. We were actually we've been at UNM West, CNM. We were dentist office last night, and we all got free toothbrushes,
Nice.
so that's nice.
Yeah.
But things like that. But you watch the people, and there's always people that come in and they say, wow, this is neat. This is neat, idea. The Chamber Night Out is kind of rolled out of our area business councils, but the Chamber Night Out is sponsored by our visionaries and our ambassadors, and they, along with a restaurant in the area, we realized, one of my staff people, Susan Sheridan, said, Debbie, I know there's restaurants, there's one night of the week that they have challenge. So we're choosing a restaurant, and then the Chamber Night Out is they walk around all the businesses in that community and thank them for doing business in Rio Rancho. And it was very successful. We were up in the Del Taco was our first Chamber Night Out host,
Right.
and so they walked that area. The businesses were very grateful. There was about a team of about 11, which is just about right. You don't want this whole gang of 80 or 90 going in.
I don't know. If I'm an ice cream shop, I might want
You
a
might
gang
like
of
that.
I might want a gang of 80 rushing my store.
But
sure.
a simple thank you, and I go back. I think often of my friend Don Chalmers' words, "Pay it forward," and I think that's paying it forward.
Yes.
And that kind of rolls into our area business councils, which is very specific areas of the community that we have meetings 3 times a year to try to see. We partner with the city. And many of your directors, particularly Matt Geisel, comes and gives a brief overview. But we want to know, is the business community in Enchanted Hills facing same or different challenges within our community as
Right.
the Answer Gateway area?
Sure.
Most of the issues are the same, but there are some that are very specific. And we're looking at now getting a Southern Boulevard specific one going, just because of the construction that's coming down the pipe in a few years, to make sure that they're prepared and they're knowledgeable. So those ABCs were launched last year, very successful. I think that's really going to grow. So you can kind of see where they all kind of influence each other, but they attract different people. When a business comes to me and talks about investing in the chamber, one person can't do. We have about between any given year between 250 to 275 events. You can't do them all.
Right.
So that's how you get the mentoring of your leadership, your team underneath your employee base, all part of that.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, that's tremendous information. And once again, for any of these events, I know the Chamber has a website that you can visit, and then, of course, you can contact the Chamber directly as well. So, speaking of events and moving forward, what are some of the highlights that the Chamber is going to be for the Chamber for 2015? What are we looking for in 2015 that's just really exciting?
Well, I think a couple things that we're getting more involved is in working with the city and the New Sandoval Economic Alliance and the the retail community, development community, is in retail development, as well as retail retention and expansion, is making sure our existing business has the tools to succeed. What do they need? And so we're going to be doing some surveys, but also what does the community need? You know, we all hear those names of chains they would love to have in our community, but get data-driven information that we can use, and hopefully the Chamber will play a very pivotal role in that. And then that rolls into our SBDC and West in those targeted areas that we need. Can we help entrepreneurs, you know, pop out of the ground? Can we give them the tools that they need to make that? So that's one. You're going to see us much more active in the legislative side. We're the voice of business.
Yes.
And you can tell the viewers I'm always on your case.
Absolutely.
You know, saying, you know, and I work real close with the city, county, federal, you know, delegation. I talk to the congressman and congresswoman and say, you know, this isn't working for small business, and certainly our number one priority has been the completion of Paseo de Vacon,
yes.
And that's we're in it for the long haul. And I may not get to see that road fixed all the way, but hopefully they'll talk about the foundation that I was able to build. Like I talk about the foundation your predecessors were able to build for the city.
Yes.
So legislatively, staying on top, seeing what's complicating the business's journey. Working with the state, making sure our businesses understand a lot of the state requirements. So we're going to be doing interaction with our state legislators. In fact, on April 17th, in partnership with Sandoval Economic Alliance and NAOP, we're hosting the legislative review with all of our legislators being, a breakfast, I should say, all of them being invited to that.
Excellent.
So, you know, just staying, that is a key element of where we are in 2015. Things are changing way too fast.
Yes.
And the small business person, they're trying to get customers in the door.
Right.
They're trying to pay their employees. They're trying to stay viable.
Right.
So let me be your voice.
Right. Well, and I can speak from a small business background that that is so important when the chamber steps in, or when, you know, somebody, a government person, somebody from leadership steps in and says, you know, how can we help? How can we assist you, as opposed to creating obstacles and creating problems? How do we help? How do we foster your growth? How do we foster what you're doing in the community? How do we partner with you as opposed to oppose you? And that's the type of relationship that, coming into office, I'm so glad to have people like yourself to work with that have that same mentality of fostering small businesses and fostering job growth, fostering development in the community. And planning for the future,
right.
and that PDV is a very important. Paseo de Vacon is a very important component of the future of Rio Rancho and where we're going to move in the, you know, as far as our transportation needs. And when you have good transportation, obviously that attracts great jobs. That creates
Exactly.
I mean, attracts companies and creates jobs.
Well, you know, it's a balance of, you know, keep maintaining our quality of life,
Yes.
which involves the infrastructure that existing and also setting the foundation for the future. It is a balancing act, and you've heard me say many times it takes a village to raise a business.
Yes.
And so I think the power of what limited staff I have is in my volunteers and in our partnerships, because working together, that's how we move it. And Rio Rancho is known for blending together, for partnering together, for moving. We are the city of vision.
Absolutely.
And we're the place where makes visions reality. But it's not just the chamber, it's not just the city, it's all of us. You know, we may disagree on certain things, but the overall thing that we're all passionate about is making us, those visions that we all have,
Right.
a reality for our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, talking about, once again, I guess what we're going to do is just talk about the Buy Rio Rancho real quick. I don't know if you all saw some red hearts pop up around town around Valentine's
Or yellow
Day.
circles.
Or yellow circles. This is a grassroots campaign that's being orchestrated, now in partnership with the chamber, to bring awareness to small businesses. And what this is we're identifying businesses, local small businesses that perhaps you didn't see them before, but we set one of these red hearts or these attractive little yellow circles, and you go by and you say, "What was that?" And so, in conjunction with that,
take your eyes off the road.
Yeah, don't take your eyes off the road. That's right. But tell us a little bit about the By Rio Rancho. Now, I know a lot about it myself because I've been there,
Right.
part of that grassroots movement as we've tried to grow this. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm impressed with the way the business community has really rallied around this.
It's been amazing.
And a lot of people are asking, well, is this something the city's doing? No, this is not a city initiative, although I back this initiative and I support it, and I've been there through the work sessions. It's definitely something that's really driven by the small business. So
Right.
tell us just a little bit about that because I think we're running out of time.
So it is started by the Sandoval County Business Builders, and just real quickly, it's a strong initiative by small businesses, grassroots. I go back to a lot of things happen around the kitchen table, and the chamber was started around a kitchen table, and By Rio Rancho was basically started around a kitchen table. That's partnership. That's
Yes.
working together. The chamber is honored to be a partner in this program. Anything we can do to help them stay in business and provide them a good customer base, it helps all of us grow and prosper.
Absolutely, and good networking is so essential. So if you want to learn more about this initiative, there's a Facebook page called By Rio Rancho, Grow Your Community, or soon there'll be a a website launched, www.byriorancho.com. So that'll be launched very soon. Well, Debbie, I want to thank you for coming out today.
Let me give my website too.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Yes,
That's
the
all right.
chamber website.
Is www.rrr3rs2cs.org, and all of the programs that we mentioned. Look for the Visionary; they have their own logo. Leadership Sandoval County has their own logo, and By Rio Rancho soon will be linked to our webpage. And we also have a Facebook.
Great.
And so Visionaries have Facebook too. Thank
Great.
you, Mayor.
Thank you. Well, once again, thanks very much for joining us for this edition of the Mayor Hull Show. We look forward to talking to you in the near future. And remember, shop local.
Oh, God, we can go for hours.
I know.
Wow.